Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Julie Torrens. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So today I'm finding myself feeling a little bit like maybe you might feel. So that's why we're looking at the old laptop, and I'm going to show you what I do when I have a lack of inspiration. So I've got my large Dylusion journal. I've got some acrylic paints. I've got my brushes, my acrylic water. I've got some baby wipes. And so I'm going to just show you what I do when I just want a little spark of inspiration to do that daily art. So I'm on Pinterest, and what I'm going to put in is art journal prompts. And let's just see where that goes. Now, I have 46, I think, subscribers. So we'll use 4 and 6. So we're going to look at, now the beginning part is some advertising for some books. So we're going to get past that. And now here's where some journal prompts are. So we're going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so is this one prompts? I just want to make sure it's prompts. This is, no, it's comparing colors and stuff. So it's another advertisement. So it's got to be a Pinterest post. So I need a 4. 1, 2, 3. That's an ad. 4. So I'm going to click on this. And then I'm going to look where it, and I don't want to save you, but I want to read you. So let's see if I can, I think I just need to click on it. Let's try that. Just click on this. And there we go. So I might just get the accept all cookies. Okay. So I may need to just scroll down a little bit and find the prompts. There you go. See, 100 journal prompt ideas. So, okay, here comes the prompts. And I said 6. I'm 46, so we'll do 6. So let's see what 6 is. Let's get a little pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vintage is the prompt. Vintage. That's very vague. Usually the prompts are a little bit more specific than that, but we have to go with vintage, so let's give that a try. Okay, so vintage is my prompt. So now I'm going to put the old laptop away, and we're going to see how we can use this prompt. Sorry, I'm going to be bumping you around a little bit and tipping things over a little bit. And let's get you back on my desk. Can we do that without making you dizzy? Okay, that will have to do. And here's my book. So this is my large Dylusions. And what am I going to do for vintage? And I'm just going to open it up. There. I've got some clips if I need it. I think we're okay. We'll save the clips. All right, vintage. I'm going to work on this side. Oh, I can work on this side. I'll work on this side. See, I got this bouncing. Let's find another page where we're not so bouncy. There we go. Okay, not so bouncy. All right, vintage, vintage. So I think about antiques. I think about old houses. I think about lace. I think about all those kinds of things when I think about vintage. So let's start out with some kind of a bit of a background. I'm going to grab a baby white, and I've got some yellow because that's easy to work on top of. And let's get some yellow paint going. Give it a shake because it's an acrylic. And let's just get a few dots of yellow. And if it doesn't completely cover, I'm okay. I just want a little something in the background. So let's just get my finger here on this white and start wiping this around. So how are you? You working in your journal? You can't have any less ideas than I do, that's for sure. Vintage, I'm still thinking about it. And maybe what I'll work on is a vintage house. I truly have no idea, but since it's going to be a house, I'm going to just put a little bit of green at the bottom, not a lot, and find a different spot on my wipe. And we've got to think, I'm still thinking vintage. Tell me in the comments what pops into your mind with just that word vintage. Is it, like I said, I'm thinking about like going to an antique shop or something like that. I just don't know. Okay, so a vintage house. This is still wet, but that's okay. I'm going to grab my Stabilo because even if I kind of mess up the tip with acrylic paint, all I have to do is sharpen it. So I'm going to just start out with this. Is it erasable? No, but it is water soluble. So I can kind of, cheat that way. All right, so when I think of a vintage house, I think of one that's kind of straight up and down, but taller, because the vintage houses that I was accustomed to were when they had to be kind of close together, so the houses were more tall and long than they were, and then they were wide, like a ranch. No, not when I think of vintage, but maybe you do. And I'm just going to give it a bit of a roof line, and I'm just really doing basic. This is obviously not going to be photorealism. And I think of arched door, and then a parlor window, and then they always had a lot of charm. So maybe a window here, and another window here. And I think about gardens. They had more gardens. And then usually these top windows were a little bit different. Well, we have an arched door. Maybe it has another arched door up here. And then maybe I'll give it some type of like a little balcony place. And we can get the details more on that. So then it would have a bit of a roof line coming out this way, with some things like this. Okay, I think that's a good start. It's a good start. So let's think about the color of the house. I've got my acrylic water, and let's grab an acrylic brush. And like I said, if you're thinking to yourself, well, you don't seem very prepared, I don't know how to prepare for a prompt that I don't really know. So I'm grabbing a few different of these acrylic brushes. They all seem to be square. Let's grab a couple of these rounds, and let's see where that gets us. Okay, so, pardon me, the color of the house. Well, maybe kind of a brick red. This is called, what is this called? Fiery Sunset. So we'll start out with, like I said, kind of a red brick house. Now, again, if you say, well, Julie, you weren't very prepared, I do have a painty paper here that I can use as a palette. Like that. And I'm going to grab this square brush because I'm thinking of bricks. And let's get some of this paint on here. Of course, nothing's easy when you're on a video. Wants to close on me. I'm so sorry. I have a frog in my throat, and it's not very polite, is it? I'm just trying to clean up the lid a little bit for the paint that I kind of wasted. I can finish cleaning that up later. Okay, let's start with some bricks on this brick house. So here we go. See, like that? And then when we go up the window, okay. Can you kind of see what I'm doing? I hope. I hope I'm in frame here. Okay, now we can start some of the bricks over here. Bricks are not, especially old bricks, they're not exact not because they didn't have good masons, they sure did, but it's supposed to be old, right? So we're working on older bricks. At least that's the vibe I'm hoping that I can give with this. Yellow grout, huh? How's that work? Well, for a quick, get some art done in one day, when you don't feel like you've got the time or the energy, you just go for it, right? Even if it's out of your comfort zone. And just keep laying these bricks in. So what's on your agenda? What are you going to be working on today? I hope you can get some art in. I hope this might be a little incentive. I work tonight, so I've got to get some sleep today. But it's a cloudy, rainy day, but I really feel like we need the rain, so I'm not complaining, I promise you. We've got a massive amount of new growth. It just seemed like the trees popped open overnight. Literally, it was just, you drive down the road and you're looking at bare trees, and the next day you drive down that same road and the trees are all leafed out. It's like, when did this happen? I feel like Rumpelstiltskin. I slept for too long. Okay. So how this is all going to work with the porch, I'm not sure, but we'll just do the best we can. Up here, okay. Are you feeling bricks when you look at this? I am. Yeah, I'm feeling like some bricks are going on here. I'm almost out of paint, but I'm also almost done with bricks. Okay, I like that. Rinse this brush out. Now, the two roof lines. How are we going to do those and have them be different from the rest of the house? Well, and again, this is just something that's fast. You know, a lot of times they had kind of a slate roof. So I think I'm going to give it this color, which is Balmy Night. And let's see what that does for us. And I've got a round brush here. Wow, that red brush, it is holding on to the paint, giving it a second douse. And let's see what this round brush is going to do for us to make some slate. And honestly, I'm just picking out a different brush because I want a different shape of how this is going to feel. So slate's kind of like rectangles. This is the worst brush I've used in years. Can you see it all splaying out? That's all right. We're just having fun. So now I'm at the roof line, the top. So I'm going to keep making some slates here. What's your weather like? It was air conditioning here for the last several days, but now today, furnace. When I woke up, it was 68 degrees Fahrenheit in the house, which is usually where I'll set my furnace for the night. So I didn't wake up cold, but when I considered that the air conditioning was on, I can't say it was running, but it was on. I'm concentrating, I'm sorry. For the slate roof. I didn't put a chimney in yet. I'll probably go back to that red for the chimney. And you know, even if this doesn't speak vintage when it's done, that isn't the point. The point is, I just got a jump start on an idea so that I can get some art in today. Even if it's not a masterpiece, it doesn't matter. I want you to just consider that I don't want to say need, but for me, it's a need to get some art done every day because it keeps my mind going in art. It keeps my hands going in art. You know, just all that. I just need it. It's healthy for me. And then we'll just get some of these going like this on this long roof. Boy, they've got quite the soffit there, don't they? Okay, now, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Okay, now, we've got the red brick, and I said, well, I'll probably do red again for something. What was that? The door? No. But I know there's going to be red behind, so I need something to be that, like the flooring of this. So maybe I'll stick with this paint anyway and give it this effect, going right over the bricks. Because this is the flooring of this little balcony that's coming at us. And then I'm going to have to get some brick on the wall by the door. Okay. Red brick on the little patio. So I'm going to go back to that brush. And I have just a little bit of this red left, but I can always get some more. Okay. Do I have any more over here? Scoop this up. I just need a couple bricks over the door. Like that. I think I need a little brick in here. Okay, we've got that. Okay, so both of these doors, I think they would look similar. So I'm going to paint them. I've got this color here that's called Desert Sand. So let's put some of this out and paint up these doors. I don't want too small of a brush, but this one's awfully big, but I'm going to go for it. And I'm wetting it because I don't want the paint to just absorb into the brush and then I don't get any on the paper. And we're just going to paint this door. Maybe it's some kind of a wood. We don't know. Okay, and this other door up here. And there. Okay, is it looking like an old-fashioned house yet? Have we arrived? Oh my, it's all good. I promise you it's all good. Okay. Now, I'm going to just kind of let this rest a little bit, and I'm going to think about maybe some shrubs and some flowers in the front here, maybe a little stone walkway. How about that? So I'm just glancing at my colors. I've got this color, which is kind of a pink. Yeah, flamingo pink. We'll get some of that on here. Well, that's a lot. It looks like we're going to be having a lot of flowers. And let's get some sour appletini. Doesn't matter. I got a little bit of that pink on my hand. Not sure how, but typical Julie. All right. So we're going to be starting out with some bushy kind of, so I'm gonna leave this brush dry, and I'm just gonna kind of stipple it because I don't want it too wet. I can always add more, and I'm gonna start away from the house with a bush right here. Maybe it's kind of a round bush. And I'm going to do the same with another bush. I know I'm going to pick up a little bit of that red. Am I worried about that? I'm deciding. I know what I can do. Can I? Yes, get a piece of scratch paper. I did some magazine harvesting again last night, so I've got some paper right here on the top of my trash. And I'm just going to give this like a little blot. And then anything that would have just really took off on me, I think it will be okay. And get a little bush here. Like that. Okay. And one more. How about over here? Oh, got in the red. That's okay. Rinsing that green out. And then I'm going to go and get, I've got some other green, this green that I put down here. And I'm going to add some of that to these bushes as well. Just a little. And I've got my paper towel, and I'm going to try to dry this brush off as best I can so that we're not getting too much water. And see if this makes really quite a bit the same, isn't it? Okay. Well, that's all right, but I want a little more contrast than that. What about this one? This one, Mushy Peas? Oh, Island Parrot, sorry. Island Parrot. I don't know if that's going to show up, but if it doesn't, we'll go to Plan C. It does show up. I don't know if you can see it, but it does give just a little variance of the green. So we're going to put that on top. just so that we have like some leaves in the highlights and some leaves in the dark. You know what I mean? Again, not photorealism. Okay, let those rest for a minute. And how about if we trim out the door and the window? So what color are we going to do that in? I'm going to pick, I've got some paints in front of me and some paints beside me. So this is called Blue Lagoon. And you know what? I'm going to just put some in and mix it in with this slate color that I had. And I'm going to use that. I'm trying to pick out a brush that I like. Maybe this one. Let's mix these up. And I'm just going to try to trim out the doors and the windows. Still looks awful slatey, but that's okay. And these are not the most precision brushes I've ever used, but it's all right. Use what you have, right? How many times have I preached that? Well, that's what I'm doing. This is what I grabbed, so this is what I'm using. Vintage was our word. So I decided to try to make a vintage house like you see in downtown Detroit. That's what was on my mind. And I know some of those houses are 100 years old. My house that I had there was built in 1941. Not sure if you would have considered it vintage, but it was a typical Detroit bungalow, and I just loved it. But taking care of a house on my own, just too much for me. Know your limitations and embrace them. Oh boy, that came out wiggly. That's okay. How's it looking to you? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Well, whoever painted their trim, I bet they don't hire them again. Okay. Now, can we go back to our flower bushes and maybe stick some flowers in? I think so. So I've got this pink, and I'm just going to give it just like a couple of C shapes to represent some flowers. Like that. And some over here. Someone's been working in the garden. A couple over here. Like that. Okay. This guy seems like he could use a couple more. Oh, is my head in? I'm sorry. Okay. So we're getting a roughed in bit of a house here, aren't we? Now, we need to get a little bit more of the finer details in. And how are we going to do that? This brush isn't great, but it's one of my finer ones. Maybe this one. this little cat tonguey one. I'm going to try to square up my bricks just a little bit so the house doesn't look quite so wonky, just a little bit wonky. All right, let's see. Because it seems like it's just a little bit going everywhere. So I'm just going to give it a bit of an outline. Like that. There. I like that better. It may really deviate from how it would really look, but I like that. Okay. Now, I have with me my Poscas. So I don't want to lose, this is still good paint. I might be able to still use it, but I'm just going to get it out of the way and get these guys in their little container. And let's bring out the Poscas, because they're an acrylic product, so I can put in maybe some finer details. Okay, so these windows, well, maybe the door. Let's start working on the door. I'm just gonna pull them all out so that I can see what I've got. Okay, I've got a brown, and I've got a blue, which kind of goes with the trim. So let's get started with that. Okay. Now the windows, I'm just going to get it started. The windows have outside trim, but the windows themselves would be wood. And so I'm just going to make them wood inside. Oh, dragging my hand in the flowers. No big deal. But I don't want to keep dragging it everywhere. Let's get myself another white. I just don't want to put prints all over. All right, and leave this out. Okay. Okay, sorry. There. And here. And if I get a little bit of the other acrylic paint on my Posca, all I have to do is wipe it off. So it's okay. And it's not like a alcohol marker that I would just ruin, or like something that's like a ballpoint or a gel pen. It would just be ruined. I mean, it will keep working today, but then when I go to use it on another day, it wouldn't work. Oh dear. Got a little carried away. Well, that's okay. A windowsill can be a little bit thicker, right? Now, in older houses, they often had small panes. So, I'll just give it one. Maybe they had their windows updated, huh? Could have been. With the little, one of those little control things. Now, their front window probably wouldn't open, but it would probably, again, have more panes. Like that. Okay. Now, I think they painted this little front porch white. So I'm going to grab my white Posca. And I'm going to lay it in. So, kind of like this. like that. Clean off the tip. And then it's going to head up into that roof line. And then maybe it's got some wood here. And then it would have some kind of a banister, or whatever you call that. Like that. And then they painted the bottom here. They painted this wood trim. And then it's going to have a lot of these. And you literally did see a lot of these on these houses. I always thought it looked extra fancy. Like that. Okay. I think after it dries, I may give it another go around. And let's put some detail in the door. Like a doorknob. And maybe another trim. Like that. And we'll do the same on this door. With the doorknob, like that. Okay. So maybe, let's see. Maybe they had, these other banisters that people would be falling off of the sides. Do you see what I mean? So there's got to be some white ones over here too. Like that. Okay. Then maybe, what about if I took, I've got my acrylics. See, I saved them. And I took a brush and I'm going to grab three of these greens here. And I'm going to make up just one plant. I may have to go back over with Posca because these greens are just so sheer, so transparent. Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere with that. That's okay. It's in there and it'll add a layer. And then we'll have that hanging off of that little patio. And what else? What else for this old house? Some kind of a little walkway. Okay. Let's go with, I'm looking at both my Poscas and my acrylics. All right. What if I add some of this tannish color, desert sand, I think it's called. Let's see. Yep. And mix it in with this red. And what do we get? Can you see? Needs more desert sand. And I'm trying to just make kind of a, like maybe some stepping stone color. Let's see what that does. Okay, so it would have like that for like a stoop. I'm going to add definitely some more desert sand to this. And then a bigger step. Like that. So now they've got a place to walk. And then just a little bit like this of some kind of stony things. Where am I going with this? Here. And then this one's just kind of off. There. And then their driveway might be over here. And now we've kind of got a place that we can add some more greenery. Now I'm going to take this bigger brush. I'm going to dry it as best I can, going into all these greens. And I'm just going to add some like leafy things. Just stippling them in. Can you see? Hope so. And now we need a different color of flower. So, a different color of flower. Should I let them dry and then put the Posca in? That might be my best chance, okay? So let's get that brown Posca again, right here. I'm just going to give these 2 bushes that I can see the bases of and give them a couple of branches. They're pretty full, so you can't see the branches too much. Just a little indication of some branches that's in these bushes, like that. That guy's going to have his is all covered up. Okay. Now, for the sake of time, how about this? I can work on that. All right, we're going to get, do I have a green Posca? I don't even know. Yes, I thought so. 2 of them. So let's work on that hanging plant. Yep, and give it some leaves. Like that. And then just some kind of a hanging apparatus that's going to go up like that. There's our little hanging bush. I think that's cute. I think that helped. And then I'm just going to need to add some little flowers. Now that, and I don't want to do that red pink again. That's just too dark. Well, and I just don't want the same. So let's add this brighter pink. And this one is called Tropical Sangria. And a brush. I want it dry as I can get it. I still see a lot of brick color. That is stubborn. One more time. Okay. Now, a little bit of this pink and just little dots or lines. Like this. And some over here. So if you would have told me today, well, Julie, you're going to be drawing a house or painting a house, I would have, no, not in my wheelhouse, clearly. But, you know, step out of your comfort zone, get some flowers and get something going. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. There. How's that? I think that looks like a flowery front yard, don't you? Okay, I think we've just about got it. I was thinking about curtains in the windows, but honestly, I think it would look more confusing than it would anything else. I think what might help is if I just added a little bit of blue to the outside. Let's give it a shake. And we've got Blue Hawaiian. And I'm just going to grab my wet wipe here. Get a little spot and put a little blue on it. And then I'm just going to work on making the background a little different than the windows, at least in some area or another. I think that's just fine. Yep. And a little over here, over the roof. And I don't mind the swirly texture, that's fine. I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm doing. Probably means that you can't see at all. Sorry. Okay, so there's my vintage prompt. I did it. Do I think it's perfect? No. Do I think it's fine? Yes. And you know, sometimes you just have to believe that good is good enough. It is. How about a few birdies? There we go. And let's sign it. I don't want that thick of a marker. Let's sign it up. Okay, there's our prompt. I hope you found this helpful, enjoyable, educational. I would so much appreciate it if you would hit the like and subscribe. It helps my channel so much. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.